Welcome
Hello.
to another Facebook Live with Skillfully Aware. So I'm Nick Kelso, the impact producer here at Skillfully Aware. This is Mark Pirtle, stress illness specialist, filmmaker, meditation teacher. And tonight we're going to talk about how to sleep better, how to empty your mind before bedtime. So super important topic, something we can all relate to.
Something I have a lot of experience with.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sure we all do. So yeah, welcome to everyone who's joining us. Feel free to use the comment box there. If you have a question, just go ahead and comment your question or add to the discussion in some way. If you don't feel comfortable putting your comment right there, you have a more personal question, just email us. info@skillfullyaware.com. We're happy to respond. If you're watching this rebroadcasted, if you're not watching live, totally okay. Just still comment here, still like, and we will see your notification on Facebook, and we will chat with you.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We're open book here.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, we want to give a quick announcement about our second installment of Project Skillfully Aware, which we're super excited to announce is happening on January 15th. So the perfect time for getting into the new year on an awesome track. So please join us for this class. Mark, do you want to give a couple things about this? I'll let Mark go off about this because it's a great class.
Yeah, it's a class to help people learn how to attune to themselves and others and contexts. And what attunement is growing up through your senses, sensing inside of yourself with acceptance and care and a wish for a higher good. And you learn how to do that in order to reduce the stress in your life and improve your life, improve your relationships, and find more your authentic true north by learning to do a spiritual practice. And so I teach you how to meditate, I teach you how to be mindful, but you also learn the science behind stress and what stress can turn into, a stress-related illness, and how to turn that around. That's a stress-related illness runs the gamut from chronic pain to insomnia can be a stress-related illness, addictions, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, but patterns in your life that cause you that are repetitious and cause you problems. And so you learn how to manage these things. You learn how to manage your triggers, thoughts, and sensations in a 1-hour class over 6 weeks, 1 hour a week. And there's practice that you learn, do a little homework. And this class I've been teaching for over a decade. And if you really want to get on track next year and make some changes in your personal life that help you grow and transition and cultivate a little more beauty, truth, and goodness in your life, this is the class for you. So
great. Well put.
And I should also mention that it's donation-based, and so pay what you can.
Yeah, and I want to mention something a former student said about the class that I really love. She said, "I am now able to completely relax, calm my thoughts, manage my stress and reactivity much more effectively." So I think that's well put.
I know who that is.
Yeah. Hey, Max. So Max is here. So so the link is there if you're interested in Project Skillfully Aware. And please join us. So, and without further ado, then we'll get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Talking about sleep and emptying your mind before bedtime.
Yeah.
So why is it, and again, please ask your questions or give us your testimonials of what happens with you. But just to get us going here, Mark, you told me that there's about two big things that are the reasons why people have trouble sleeping.
Yeah. So first caveat. So we're not going to talk about medical insomnia, where there is an organic brain disorder that prevents a person from sleeping, because there are brain disorders and medical conditions. And I am not a sleep specialist. I'm a person who specializes in keeping myself awake. So
which is the opposite of sleep.
Right. So I have been a non-medical type of insomniac in my life. I'm not now, thankfully, but I have a lot of experience with that, and I've used my meditation training to help me work with my mind. And what causes a person to become an insomniac, I'll say that with air quotes, okay, so non-medical, are two factors, and one is related to worrying about what's going to happen in the future. People can relate to the times, like on Sunday afternoon, when you know you're going to have to get up early and work the next day. Oftentimes people have trouble sleeping, and it's because of that worry. It's a future worry, and so worry keeps people awake oftentimes, but also people stay awake as a result of remorse. So something that a person may have said or done, something in the past that you keep ruminating on. Anger is something also, if somebody has done an injustice to you, that'll keep you awake at night, ruminating about the perceived injustice or betrayal or whatever else that comes with that narrative. So thinking and feeling is what will activate your body and keep you from sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Does
And
that
now,
make sense?
yeah, and now you said that's not insomnia per se.
Well,
is it a form of?
Yeah, you can call it, and I'll do air quotes again, you can call it insomnia because generally insomnia is a pattern where you develop and is this a stress-related condition? Because what the stress is you're activated. You don't. It doesn't feel good to be lying there not sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
and what insomnia comes from. Let me turn this off. Sorry. What insomnia comes from is you're not in right relationship with your thoughts and feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is one thing that I teach in the Skillfully Aware class, is that basically what we're always experiencing inside are our own thoughts and feelings. And the interesting thing about human beings is you can have a perspective on your thoughts. You can think about your own thoughts, and you can think about your feelings, and you can have judgments about your thoughts and feelings. So a person who is triggered and something happened during the day, or you did something, so worry or remorse or anger, anything that sort of stirs you up and you're bringing thoughts and you're lying down with that activation, those thoughts. If the thinking and the feeling and the activation keep you from sleeping, you're going to have an opinion about that.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to decide, gosh, you're going to lie there and you're going to think, well, I wish I were sleeping. And that actually kicks it up a little bit, because then not only are you activated with regard to the story, you're adding fuel to the fire by hating not sleeping. And so this is sort of the amplifying. This is what causes a stress-related condition. All stress-related conditions are amplifications of something. For example, depression is a stress-related condition, some context you feel sad about, and you're depressed about being depressed, amplifies. Chronic pain is a signal that you feel and you hate, and as a result, you feel it more.
Mm-hmm.
And insomnia is just like that. It's a feedback where you're lying there hating not sleeping, which causes you not to sleep. So, was I clear about that?
Yeah, no, very much. And actually, Max has a question.
Okay.
So, Max says, good timing. I've had some difficulty sleeping myself lately.
Okay.
Generally, do I have to really ritualize my bedtime routine in order to fall asleep? They say, generally, I do have to ritualize my, okay. Do you guys have any particular rituals that you use or specific meditation techniques? We are going to share one of those later.
Yeah.
So, but we can get to your question too. I guess he would describe his own insomnia as somewhat of a spinning wheel mind state, which is exactly what you're just talking about.
That's what
right?
we're talking about. And so everybody that's experienced what Max and I have experienced is going to relate to this. Mm-hmm. It's going to be racing thoughts, and then it's going to be hating not sleeping. So first of all, Max, I want to acknowledge having a ritual helps a lot, especially when the insomnia is acute. Like you're in a period where you're actually nervous about going to bed. I remember when my insomnia was acute, where it'd be 10:30 in the morning and I would have a thought go, I hope I can sleep tonight. And I'd get a little, and even though I was so tired, I'd lie down in bed and I'd be activated because I'd be worried about not sleeping. So once you've reached the point where I was, where you're worried about not sleeping, even though you're tired, that's insomnia, okay? Not the medical kind, the kind that what's going on inside of you, which is amplifying the not sleeping. It's not a medical condition, but it's a feedback loop that has developed a pattern. Okay, so ritualizing a bedtime routine, if that pattern has arisen in you, that's absolutely the thing that we're going to talk about. And one of the things to ritualize before you go to bed, and we'll talk about this, is the meditation technique, which I will teach you. And there's a breathing technique and a meditation technique. The other things to do are, they call it sleep hygiene, and you might put that in your rituals too.
What is sleep hygiene?
Well, like not drinking too much alcohol or eating too much food. And a lot of times people that have this feedback loop that's going on, they make the choice to drink to sort of numb the thinking and the feeling. But what alcohol will do is alcohol adds a lot of, in Chinese medicine, they call it heat to the body. And it's very disruptive to a deep night's sleep. And so a person who gets into the habit of sort of numbing that way can actually develop over time, not only the habit of drinking, and you think you need that before you go to sleep, which is its own problem. You're ultimately, you're gonna habituate to that, and it's not gonna work as well. And physiologically, you're not gonna get a good, healthy night's sleep. So you have to be careful about that. Now, all of that said, on the topic of using a substance to help you sleep, I will say when I had this pattern, I did go to my doctor and I got some medicine to help me sleep. And so I'm not against getting a sleep aid, because what medicine is used for is to reduce the intensity of symptoms. Okay, a sleeping pill will not cure the habit of thinking and feeling. It'll just knock you out. And sometimes that's really helpful, because then you can get a couple of nights sleep under your bed. But how I eventually, I don't want to say healed, because I can get to a place where I need to use my tools again, but I'm not on medication to sleep, and I am a pretty effective even when I'm under a lot of stress, and we're doing a lot of stuff now, and it doesn't keep me awake anymore. So, but I'm not immune to being stressed out. I think, things are reasonably good now, even though I'm busy, but if I was afraid I was not going to be able to pay the bills or something, I could see, having that pattern reemerge. But how I got a handle on it is, like I said, I was taking this medication, and then I decided to wean myself off of the medication. And I also found a time when I wouldn't take any medicine and I didn't have anything to wake up to the next day. So all the pressure was off. I wasn't thinking about, oh God, I'm going to need to get a good night's sleep because I've got this big day tomorrow. I cleared the calendar. And then by this time, I was a fairly skillful meditator, and I knew how to work with my thoughts and my feelings. And so I decided I could care less if I sleep tonight. I'm just going to meditate lying down. And as soon as I decided not to hate not sleeping, That was the beginning of
Sure.
when I fell asleep. So that night, I remember very clearly probably lying there only 20 minutes and just trying to meditate and then just falling asleep. Now, since that time, I've developed better habits that I didn't know at the time. And so these are the kinds of things I want to share with this group. So meditation, again, if you become a reasonably skilled meditator or just a meditator who knows what he or she is doing, take the Skillfully Aware class. I will teach you how to do it. Then decide to become a meditator before bed, especially if you have a lot of stress in your life. And reason being is if you set the intention to focus your attention on your breath or any object that you like to meditate on, and you maintain awareness, so the thoughts are going to come and you're going to reorient your attention, and you continually do this, you meditate with as much skill as you're able to do. Ultimately, what's going to happen, especially if you're already tired, a meditator who meditates in the daytime oftentimes has to deal with what's called mental dullness, because the mind-body network, when things go quiet and you hold your attention very still, oftentimes that's a signal to the body that it's time to go to sleep. That's what happens naturally when you're just lying there, you just sort of fade out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you meditate, that's a challenge for people who want to become better meditators, because ultimately you're sitting there, you're trying to maintain that balance. And even if it's in the morning and you've gotten a good night's sleep, when everything quiets down, that's why people say meditation is so relaxing. It's actually not supposed to, you're not supposed to fall asleep. You're supposed to, meditate, right? But before bed, this is a great, don't worry about the mental dullness, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just allow yourself to get to that place of quiet.
Do you do it in bed?
I don't do it in bed.
But as far as the technique you're
Because,
sharing,
the
is
reason
that a
why I don't
place
do
I
it
could do it, or should I do
Yeah.
it before
you get into bed.
Okay, so
And
I'm gonna go sit in a
you're gonna go
chair
sit,
or on the
you're gonna go
ground.
sit or someplace close, or just
Yeah.
in your meditation space,
Mm-hmm.
and you sit, and the purpose isn't to fall asleep. Don't ever make the purpose to fall asleep, because if you're chasing sleep, you're pushing it away. Okay, Don't chase sleep. The purpose is, I'm going to go meditate right now, and you start meditating, and that's your sole focus. And you're working on something. If you and I are working together, I've got you working on something, some skill that you're developing during that progress of improving your meditative skill. You'll be working on whatever the skill that is.
Mm-hmm.
So there you are, you're working on that skill, and ultimately your mind will start to go numb, and here's when you'll know it's time to you start going like this in the meditation while you're meditating. And once you get to that point, just go to sleep.
Then you're good to go.
Then you're good to go.
Yeah. So say I've never meditated and I don't have a specific thing to meditate on. What could I try tonight? Can I just try to relax and maybe get through, kind of think about what's going on in my head?
Well, get a guided meditation. That's what will help the most.
Okay,
What we can give people is we can give them, we have free guided meditations. Why don't, if you want to get a guided meditation even tonight, put your email, or how do you
you just go to www.skillfullyaware.com. I'll post the link here.
Post the link.
And that's 21 days of guided meditation. So
then once you get the guidance, sit at night listening to my voice and just try to do the meditation, and it might enable you to fall asleep. We have in the Skillfully Aware shop, we actually have a guided meditation series for sleeping. But learning how to meditate before bed is one of the super important things to help you out. The other thing is a technique called relaxation breathing.
Before you go there, can we answer a couple questions?
Okay,
we have a couple questions. So we did the meditation technique. We're going to do another technique.
Well, I didn't do the technique. I'll show you how to
meditate. You're going to show us too. Okay, got it.
I'm just telling you, setting you up for what we're going to,
we know we know that's to come.
Yeah.
And so Max was saying, let's see, earlier Max, I like this. He said he's all about sleep hygiene. He teaches and practices it.
Okay, good.
And he said he most recently had to cut out chocolate.
Yeah.
With a little surprised frown face.
Yeah, I know.
Not super happy about that. He says following his breaths has been helpful. And then so Stephanie, I hope we're answering your question, Stephanie. Stephanie says, like a lot of us have experienced, she says she can sometimes lay there for hours, not falling asleep, just laying there awake. So I hope some of this is addressing your concern, Stephanie, and if not.
So Stephanie, are you ruminating? What happens in your mind when you're just lying there? Because if it's worry and remorse, if there's rumination and then activation, or if you've already gotten to that pattern where, oh, I hope I can sleep tonight, and then you start to feel the anxious feelings in your body, that's going to activate your cortex. That's all of a sudden, if there seems to be some sort of threat, and the threat in this case would be, I'm not going to be healthy if I don't sleep. And so the body is feeling threatened by this continual pattern of not sleeping well. And so you can lie there activated, worrying about not sleeping. And that can be the only thing you're worried about. You didn't do anything, nothing's happening tomorrow. It's just like, shit, I better get to sleep tonight, right? Or I'm not going to feel good. I'm going to get sick.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Okay, so I just want to know from Stephanie if that's that.
Yeah, feel free, Stephanie, if you want to give another comment, or I hope some of what we mentioned is helping there. And I think it probably is, because you're kind of getting at the root of that. So yeah, tell us about your other technique for sleeping better, which is relaxation breathing.
Yeah, relaxation breathing. And so relaxation breathing is super simple. You don't have to count anything, but what you want to do is you want to breathe super slowly through your nose, and you can do the sitting up before. When you start to meditate, center yourself with relaxation breathing. And so you blow everything out, and I'll accentuate a breath sound so you can tell how I'm breathing. Okay, so breathe everything out, everything. Okay, so
Really slow.
So I can feel that already. I don't know if you can tell by the look on my face, but physiologically, that dampens your sympathetic tone, which is the fight or flight tone. And I know that I pursed my lips when I was breathing out, just so you could hear it. But when I do the relaxation breathing on my own, I just breathe through my nose, in and out through my nose. And I also kind of squeeze my throat a little bit so I can hear the and you can also add to that a sound in the background, kind of like a mantra, that on the in-breath goes sa. You say sa to yourself, sa. And then on the out-breath you go ha. And just elongate it. And what you want to do with a relaxation breath is you want each breath cycle in and out to be longer than 12 seconds, which means you're breathing fewer, at least 5 or fewer times a minute. And you have to breathe that slowly in order for the relaxation effect to take over. But coupling relaxation breathing with this meditation I'm going to give you right now is a super way to relax yourself before bed. Okay, so here's the relaxation meditation that I'll give you.
Great.
And it's very, very simple. So it's going to be an eyes closed meditation. And again, your goal is not to fall asleep, because if you're chasing that, you're not going to be meditating. You're going to be craving something that is going to create agitation. And you want all the agitation and the activation in your body to go away. You want to quiet that down. And so the goal is to meditate skillfully. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just meditate, okay? So anybody who's watching this right now, what I want you to do is I just want you to listen to my voice and close your eyes, okay? And so when you close your eyes, I want you to have a visual experience of what it looks like with your eyes closed. And notice something. Notice that you just see a blank screen behind your closed eyelids. Focus gently on that blank screen right now. That's the space of your mind, okay? And so the space of your mind, stay aware of that. That it looks like a dark night sky. There's no place where you can see that it starts or it stops. It's just open space, this black open space. But if you focus gently on the backs of your closed eyelids, you're going to notice that it's not perfectly black. It's got a little bit of a light show, like the brain cells in your visual cortex. They're still talking with each other, and that brain cell chatter is a little bit of a light show. Like right now, as I look at the back of my closed eyelids, what I see is it does look dark, but there's a sort of a weird kind of lava lampish kind of a thing, and I can see some kind of a movement. So that's what it looks like inside the space of my mind right now, and that's my meditation object. Now, the point of this meditation is to focus on that, what it is that I see behind my closed eyes while I do the relaxation breathing. And if a thought arises, whatever you might be worried about, whatever you feel bad about, that's what you set aside and redouble your effort, place your attention back on the light show. Now, human beings are very visually focused, and so it's going to be easy for you to focus on that object and stay there doing the relaxation breathing the whole time. And again, here's another technique. If you start to think again, just say thinking. I notice thinking. And then you label it thoughts, or if you have a feeling, feelings, and then right back to the light show. Okay? And you don't have to be a great meditator to do that easy meditation. That's a very simple meditation. And that focusing on the light show and the momentary changes, everything that's happening moment to moment, that's the point. Okay, nothing more than that, just seeing the momentary subtle change and doing your breathing. That's all you're trying to do, okay? You're not trying to fix anything. You're not trying to reach enlightenment. There's nothing but what is happening right here, right now, in front of my closed eyes. And I'm just going to get in tune with my breath. Okay.
And your added benefit
super simple
will be a clear head.
Clear head before. So that's what you're taking to bed. So that's, we said clear your thoughts. What was the?
Empty your thoughts.
Empty your thoughts. So it's misnomer, because you're not actually emptying your thoughts. What happens is when you do this, hold your attention still, stay aware, is thoughts stop percolating. The mind, trust me on this, your mind will start to get dull, especially if you're tired. And once you start doing the Zen lurch like this, then just go to bed.
You're ready.
Right? Then you know.
Yeah. Great. And about how long? 15 minutes?
Well, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. And then in the Skillfully Aware class, you will learn other things. We teach ethically based mindfulness. And so how to be in the world in right relationship with yourself and others and what you're doing. So there's less worry and remorse. So that's
even when you get to that point.
Even when you get to that point.
So, I'm going to go to, I'm about to get ready for sleep.
Yeah, there's a whole, I mean, Skillfully Aware, learning how to be in right relationship, attuned to yourself, others, and whatever it is that you're doing in the world. When you start getting into right relationship with all of that, trust me, insomnia is going to stop by itself.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not like you have to heal it. It just starts going away.
I just posted another link to that. So that's what I was doing over here, getting the post going there. And so, yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. And if you have another question that wasn't answered here, either about the specifics, sleeping better, or anything else that Mark talked about, be it the relaxation breathing or meditation in general, reach out to us however is easiest for you. So write a comment here in the box, email us info@skillfullyaware.com, message us on Facebook, whatever is easiest for you. We will get your message and do our best to respond and help you out, because that's what we hope to do.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, thanks again everyone for joining. So you should see the link there if you have any questions about Project Skillfully Aware, that should answer them. And thanks for all your questions. Thanks, Max. Thanks, Stephanie. And yeah, we look forward to our next Facebook Live in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.